Welcome to the University of Southampton Archives and Special Collections podcast. In this episode of our series, My Day Was Not an Idle One, Lord Palmerston and the Broadlands Estate exhibition, we'll be diving into an intriguing historical document, the 1758 inventory of linen and china at Broadlands. This detailed account offers a fascinating glimpse into the workings of an 18th century country house. To help us uncover the story behind this document, Archivist Lara will be speaking with fellow Archivist Sarah, who selected this item for the exhibition. Let's join them now. Sarah, thank you for joining us. Can you start by telling us a bit about this item and where it fits into the exhibition?
Yes, of course, Lara. This inventory is displayed in Case 2, which focuses on the estate, grounds and house at Broadlands. It's a meticulous record of the bed sheets and tablecloths in the household, created on the 19th of June, 1758. Now, for instance, the bed sheets are categorised into fine Holland sheets, second sheets and coarse sheets. As for the tablecloths, there are at least 5 types listed: diaper, day-in, breakfast, common and servants' tablecloths.
Wow, that's such an impressive level of detail, especially for tablecloths. Was this kind of inventory typical for the period?
Yes, it was actually. Inventories like this reflect the strict social hierarchies of the 18th century. Items in the household were carefully categorised to emphasise distinctions in quality, purpose and use. Now, these divisions extended beyond objects to the household itself, where servants were highly aware of rank and class distinctions within their roles.
Wow, that's fascinating. So this inventory was made in 1758. Why is that date particularly significant?
The timing is key. Just a year earlier, in June 1757, the first Viscount Palmerston, Henry Temple, passed away. Ownership of Broadlands then transferred to his grandson, confusingly also named Henry Temple. He was aged just 19 and he was at university. Broadlands was leased to the Earl of Powys, and we believe that this inventory was created as part of the preparations for the transfer of ownership and the lease agreement.
Oh, that makes sense. Do we have other documents that support this context?
Yes, absolutely. One notable document is the lease agreement for Broadlands. It specifies that the mansion house would be leased along with the furniture, goods and effects therein, and it specifically calls for a schedule or inventory to be made. We also have a catalogue of books from the same period, which provide further insight into the household's assets.
So this inventory wasn't just a random record. It was part of a larger process prompted by the death of the first Viscount, the inheritance by his grandson, and the lease to Lord Powys.
Exactly. It's a perfect example of how a single document can illuminate broader historical events and social structures.
Wow, that's incredible. I've heard that this wasn't the first inventory of linen taken at Broadlands. Can you tell us more about an earlier one?
Certainly I can, yes. There was a previous inventory of linen at Broadlands, which was made in April 1754. What's particularly interesting about it is a later endorsement made in 1757, which highlights a curious discrepancy.
Oh, what kind of discrepancy?
The endorsement notes that when the inventory was reviewed in September 1757, and then again during the re-examination on the 19th of June 1758, only 2 breakfast cloths could be found, even though the earlier inventory had recorded 12.
Wow, that's a mystery worth pondering. What might have happened to the missing breakfast cloths?
Well, it's hard to say definitively. This discrepancy could point to a variety of possibilities, such as loss, damage, theft, or even misplacement during the changes in ownership and leasing arrangements. It's a small detail, but it adds an intriguing layer to the story of Broadlands and its household management.
Thank you, Sarah and Lara, for shedding light on this fascinating piece of history. And thank you to our listeners for joining us on this journey through the Broadlands Estate archives. Stay tuned for future episodes on the My Day Was Not an Idle One exhibition, where we will continue to explore the hidden stories behind the treasures in our archives and special collections.